Yes, now bless now people. Des at King of the Pit TV, signing in live and large. Today, we're listening to Bring Me the Horizon. We're listening to the Count Your Blessings record, alright? Was this the first LP they brought out potentially? They might have demoed a few things beforehand, done an EP from what I'm aware. But this is Count Your Blessings. This is when Bring Me the Horizon started making moves, man. I think this was put out in 2006. I never listened to it in its entirety. I was never a Bring Me the Horizon fan, but where I was based back in the day, I was 5 minutes away from Sheffield, which is where, Ollie Sykes and the crew were making movements. I think I had the opportunity to see Bring Me the Horizon at Ghost Fest, which was like 2006. I think they played with Whitechapel that year, or that 2008 maybe. Whitechapel, Architects might have been on the bill. And they were all, but not necessarily at their peak, but as far as like the whole scene movement went and the new evolution of what one may consider hardcore, even though it's a little more fashionable, a little softer, as opposed to the tough guy stuff. It was a whole entity in itself. Had plenty of stories and mythological sort of hearsay about Ollie Sykes back in the day, because he was such a polarizing character between all the kids with the dyed fringes and the stretched ears and so forth. So you can definitely see how they blew up, because they had the look, the aesthetic, and let's see if they had the sound. So without further ado, this is Pray for Plagues. I think they did a music video for this one, but we don't do music videos no more on this, purely as, it's debatable as to whether the video will actually be allowed up. This is Bring Me the Horizon. Let's jump straight in. It doesn't say if this is a remaster, but the production's brilliant. Like, they jumped into a nice studio with a nice sound engineer pretty early on by the sounds of things. So the riffing, obviously pretty metalcore, I'd say, first and foremost, but it's actually a little thrashy. It's a bit of low register, which sort of verges a little into death metal as well as that. But right now we've got the drum skanking away and the riffing, quite intricate, twinkling, like thrashy-esque riffs. We got the dual vocals, which is very reminiscent of the whole deathcore thing back in the day. We had the high register, shrieking, sort of stuff, and growling, low register. Alright? I like my lower vocals to be a little crispier and gurgly and a little more of that brutality. But what can I say? I'm not even gonna hate. This is sounding pretty bloody good so far. So I just did a react to A Day to Remember's first record just before this. I'm going to start a petition to bring back the E-Chug breakdown, man. Man, there's not enough of this stuff going on. It's so good. Come on. Wow. So the drummer's really good, the frontman's really good, and obviously had the charisma to match. The guitars are really good. Like, you heard a little bit of borderline shred guitar there on that little fill. This is really good. They were a really good band. And obviously they still are, if not better, but I love listening to bands' first records or early stages of the band, because from the get-go, they were really good musicians. The production was magic. And I think the artwork's timeless, man. I really like the artwork to this record as well. This is really good. This is really good. It's making me... I think I might go on a run of listening to mid-2000s, like deathcore and scene bands. Like, I might get a Job for a Cowboy on next or something like that. Have a quick run back through Annotations of an Autopsy, stuff like that. MySpace core bands, man. Slow sweeps there. You don't hear sweep picking too much nowadays, do you? Just revised the initial verse there, going back into that. Really talented with the squealies. I was never able to pull off them pinch harmonics well. You know, in hindsight, it's kind of mad, these metal guitarists who are always doing the squeals on guitar, because essentially that's kind of scientific. To hit that string in the right place in succession, to do that is that's crazy, man. You have to be so precise to do that. Oh, come on. All the kids dropping a little two-bomb they've been practicing in their kitchen for this for so long. That was me, man. Take the vocal out, it's like a Suicide Silence-esque slammy breakdown. Little bit of edge there at the end to annoy your parents when you're listening to this back in the day. Let's keep it on moving. You know what? I'm not a fan of these whole metalcore scene titles. Tell Slater not to wash his dick. I think it's a film reference, but it's such a terrible title. It really is such a terrible title. So let's move on to it. Track number 2.